Over 73,000 children have gone missing. 14.3% increase in cases of human trafficking. Over 44% of those trafficked are children. Many are being pushed into sex work as well. Robbed of their childhood. Stripped of their dignity. Denied basic rights. It's time we come together to fight this organized crime, generating an estimated $150 billion annually worldwide.
Hello and welcome to our special show for the Justice for Every Child campaign. I'm Gargi Rawat. Today, the 30th of July, is World Day Against Trafficking in Persons. With the pandemic raging, there's been an exponential rise in this transnational organized crime, putting hundreds and thousands of children and women at heightened risk. Now, in the ongoing monsoon session of Parliament, it's expected to take up a key bill on this issue, the Trafficking in Persons Bill 2021 for deliberation. Deeply concerned at the rise in cases of trafficking, Nobel Peace Laureate Kailash Satyarthi has written to members of Parliament and requested them to ensure the passage of this proposed bill in this session. In fact, today, in a welcome move, the Minister for Women and Child Development, Smriti Irani, said that the Ministry of Home Affairs has assured that appropriate amendments to the Indian Penal Code will be made to complement the seriousness with which the government proposes the trafficking bill. So first up on the show, let's bring you a special report on this evil. Thousands of vulnerable children have fallen prey to trafficking, and one of them was Mohammad Chotu, who was rescued by the Kailash Satyarthi Children's Foundation from Delhi. Mohammad Chotu is now a part of KSCF's survivor-led intelligence network, which keeps an eye on high-risk trafficking zones. Here's a report on how this network has saved several children from the clutches of traffickers.
कोई भी बच्चे से 18 साल से कम उम्र के बच्चे से काम कराता है। इसमें पुलिस वाला नंबर दे रखा है या आंगनबाड़ी में पढ़ाई सही नहीं हो रहा है या कोई बच्चों को बाहर लेके जा रहा है। हमें आप बोल सकते हो।
Trafficked to Delhi and forced to work as a child labourer when he was just 8, 19-year-old Mohammad Chotu maintains a hawk's eye today in some of the most high-risk trafficking hotspots in his area.
ये अधिकार नहीं पता होता मुझे, बच्चों का अधिकार क्या है।
Patrolling across villages, he is busy spreading awareness, sensitizing stakeholders and recruiting volunteers to protect children from traffickers.
मैं देखा कि जब मैं गांव में आया बाल आश्रम से, तो मैं देखा कि गांव में बच्चे नशे कर रहे हैं, बच्चे स्कूल से वंचित हो रहे हैं, तो हम लोग फील्ड में काम करें, लोगों को समझाने का काम करें। तो मैं सोचा कि मेरे गांव में निकल जो लोग नहीं समझ रहे बात को, तो कैसे करें हम चीज इसको सुधारे। बच्चों के रोटी खेल पढ़ाई प्यार ये अधिकार है, उसको आपको देना होगा। तो हम गांव में जाकर के बुजुर्गों को और महिलाओं को यही समझाते ज्यादातर।
8 children go missing every hour in India. 5 are sexually abused. Incidentally, Satyarthi movement's Bachpan Bachao Andolan has rescued over 9,000 children and led to the arrest of 260 traffickers since the beginning of the pandemic. Working in tandem with government agencies is Kailash Satyarthi Children's Foundation's extensively spread out survivor-led intelligence network. Alert and vigilant 24/7, Chotu, like other members of the network, is the key to reporting suspicious movement of children for crackdown on traffickers.
सर्वाइवर लेड इंटेलिजेंस नेटवर्क केसीएफ का एक महत्वपूर्ण अंग है, और ये इसको जो चलाने वाले लोग हैं वो फॉर्मर विक्टिम्स ऑफ ट्रैफिकिंग रहे हैं, और वहां पे वो इंफॉर्मेशन इकट्ठा करते हैं कि अगर कोई भी विक्टिम्स को ले जाने की कोशिश कर रहा है, उसको इंफॉर्मेशन पहले लोकल लेवल पे देते हैं। इसके बाद अगर वो कहीं से लेके निकल गया तो ट्रांजिट एरिया में इंफॉर्मेशन पास करते हैं हमारे सेंट्रल ऑफिस को, और वहां से उन विक्टिम्स को रेस्क्यू किया जाता है।
Post rescue, children are not just provided rehabilitation but legal and mental health support as well. Kailash Satyarthi Children's Foundation's Justice for Every Child campaign aims to provide legal and mental health support to victims across the country whose childhood has been robbed by sexual predators. Extend a helping hand and join the campaign to ensure that child victims of rape and sexual abuse receive the support that they need to get justice.
Well, to talk more about this issue and how we can end it, we're now joined by Dhananjay Tingle, Executive Director, Bachpan Bachao Andolan, Jyoti Mathur, Executive Director, Kailash Satyarthi Children's Foundation, and Sharmila Tagore, actor, and someone who's really been a part of various campaigns on these issues. Well, first, I'd like to start with you, Dhananjay. If you could tell us about the Satyarthi movement's role in rescuing children from traffickers and explain to us, this intelligence network which is led by trafficking survivors. We saw a bit of it in that report there, but if you could talk, explain more about it to us.
This trafficking network of the survivors, the children who were rescued by us in the previous years and now they have become adults, are doing campaign and also gathering information about the children who are being trafficked from the source areas, and they're active in the state of Bihar. And from them, whenever the information they gather, the information is sent to the central office in Delhi, BBA office, and BBA teams which are working in 20 states do the rescue. During this pandemic, we have rescued more than 9,000 children across India. And interestingly, all these children have been rescued is not only from some state, but they have been rescued from all across India, and almost in 20 states we have rescued the children. And
is that something unusual? Was that something you saw earlier as well, or are you seeing it more now that it's so widespread?
This is not unusual. This is widespread. And while the information which was being passed on by this network, we came to know that children are being trafficked from Bihar to the states like Telangana, Kerala, Gujarat. All these places, far off places, also the children are being trafficked. It's not only to Bihar, to Rajasthan, Delhi, or to Punjab, but all across India they are being trafficked. So other children also, while they are passing this, they are manning the railway stations, bus stations, transport routes, where they are also checking in the trains which are coming from far off states like Assam, West Bengal, other things which are coming this side. They are checking them also. So we are getting the information and we.
All right, we're also joined by Mohammed Chotu, whose story we just saw in that report there. Right, छोटू आप हमें अपनी कहानी के बारे में जरा बताइए, अपने बारे में बताइए, आपकी जिंदगी जिस तरह बदल चुकी है, जो अब आप काम कर रहे हैं, उसके बारे में बताइए।
जी मैम, नमस्ते मैम।
नमस्ते।
एनडीटीवी को मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ, क्योंकि उनकी वजह से मैं उनके इसमें आया हूँ अभी, और मुझे बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, क्योंकि मैं पहली बार जिंदगी में मैं आया हूँ एनडीटीवी में, तो मुझे बहुत गर्व हो रहा है। और मैं सोच नहीं सकता था कि मैं इतने बड़े टीवी में, इतने बड़े चैनल में आ सकूँगा। तो आपको मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ। और मेरा नाम मोहम्मद छोटू है और मैं बिहार कटिहार का रहने वाला हूँ। आज से तकरीबन 10 से 11 साल पहले मैं एक बाल बंधुआ मजदूर था, जो कि मेरे घर की स्थिति के कारण मेरे घर में कुछ दलाल लोग आए और मेरे मम्मी पापा को बहला फुसला कर मेरे को दिल्ली शहर लेके गए, और वहाँ पे मुझे काम सिखाने के बहाने वहाँ पे मुझे फैक्ट्री में लगवा दिए। तो वहाँ पे मैंने 4 साल काम किए, और फिर कैलाश सत्यार्थी के NGO बचपन बचाओ आंदोलन के कार्यकर्ता द्वारा वहाँ से मैं रेस्क्यू हुआ, और वहाँ से फिर बाल आश्रम जयपुर में गया। वहाँ पे रह के मैं अपनी आगे की शिक्षा ग्रहण की, और अभी मैं मुक्ति कारवा को लीड कर रहा हूँ गाँव में। लॉकडाउन में अभी मुक्ति कारवा को लीड कर रहा हूँ। मुक्ति कारवा को मैं इसलिए लीड कर रहा हूँ कि जो मेरे साथ घटना घटी है और किसी भी भारत के किसी भी बच्चों के साथ ना घटे, इसलिए हम लोग गांव में जाकर के पर्चे वितरण के माध्यम से, दीवार लेखन के माध्यम से छोटी छोटी सभा करते हैं। वहाँ के मेंबर से, वार्ड मेंबर, मुखिया के साथ वहाँ से छोटी छोटी सभा करते हैं, और वॉलेंटियर के माध्यम से हम लोग वॉलेंटियर बनाते गांव में। हर गांव में एक वॉलेंटियर, 2 वॉलेंटियर बनाते, ताकि जो भी उनके गांव में समस्या हो वो हमें इन्फॉर्म कर सके। और हम लोग गांव में जाकर जो पीड़ित परिवार है उनसे बातचीत करते हैं। जो सरकारी योजना है हम उस योजनाओं के बारे में उनको बताते हैं, और कोई भी उनके साथ कोई घटना घटती है।
और मोहम्मद छोटू, ये जो पैंडेमिक और लॉकडाउन के समय में क्या बदलाव आया? क्या और लोग अपने बच्चों को ऐसे भेज रहे हैं? ट्रैफिकिंग और बढ़ चुका है क्या?
हाँ, अभी क्या है कि जो हमारे जो लॉकडाउन है, क्योंकि इसमें बहुत सारे प्रकार के जो गरीब घरा के लोग हैं, जो दिन कमाते दिन खाते हैं, उनकी जिंदगी बहुत कठिनाई हो रही थी। यहाँ पे बहुत ज्यादा मुसीबत में थे उन लोग, क्योंकि सरकार के जितने भी जो सुविधा था उनके तक नहीं पहुंच पा रही थी, और जो पहुंच पा रही थी तो बहुत कम पहुंच रही थी। तो इसके लिए ट्रैफिकर के ज्यादा बच्चे के साथ ये दुर्व्यवहार, यानी मतलब ट्रैफिकिंग बच्चों का संभावना ज्यादा था यहाँ पे। और हमारे कटिहार से जैसे लॉकडाउन खुला बहुत ज्यादा भारी मात्रा से बच्चे ट्रैफिकिंग के शिकार हुए यहाँ से और उनका फायदा पूरा
Mohammed Chotu there joining us from Katihar there in Bihar. Sharmila ji, now trafficking is becoming a critical problem, not just in India, in fact across the world. It's the third largest international criminal enterprise. You've been a part of many social campaigns. How important is it for you to be a part of the conversation around this subject?
It is absolutely one of the most significant conversations to have at this time. It is a conversation I am personally invested in. It is heartbreaking that 7 decades since independence, there has been a collective failure in this area and a deepening of crisis where children are concerned. Further, the pandemic has made it imperative that we redraw our priorities, and it has unfolded not only a mammoth health catastrophe but also brought to fore the renewed disruptions that have been experienced by children and their families. More and more children have been orphaned, displaced and trafficked during COVID-19. It's a demand-driven crime, and we witnessed a rise in demand and supply in trafficking in recent times. It has been an extremely worrisome situation, and I'm glad that attempts are being made either through law or through the social sector organizations to arrest this grave situation.
Right, Sharmila ji, so if you could also, tell us why is it that everyone needs to be involved in this? Why should we all be extremely worried about the exponential rise in cases of trafficking post-pandemic?
It is a grave concern because it involves both our present and our future. It affects lives of millions of children. Children are people with rights, rights against exploitation, right against deprivation, and right to develop their full potential. Basic quality of life should be the right of all children, not just the privileged few. On this issue, silence is violence. We are sadly a nation that refuses to see its children as our present wealth and future resources. Children disappear from our neighborhood, our schools and our communities, and yet nobody seems to notice. The police, the community or the media. Since we do not see the children, we do not see the traffickers either. How many FIRs are filed against child trafficking? Yet trafficking continues unabated. India needs a new attitude towards its children.
I couldn't agree more. India needs a new attitude towards its children. Well, with that, time for us to slip into a short break. Do remember, if you want to know more about this campaign of ours, you can go onto the website or QR code. They're there on your screens, and you can get more information about the campaign and how you can also make a difference. Welcome back to our special show. Today is World Day Against Trafficking in Persons, and do remember to know more about the Justice for Every Child campaign. You can go to our website and you can even see the QR code. It's up on your screens there, and you can learn more about this campaign and how you could do whatever little it is to help save children and help in this entire effort. Jyoti Mathur, next question to you. We're very hopeful Parliament will take up the trafficking bill in this session. Just explain to us why it's so urgently required, and also what is the problem with the existing trafficking law that was passed a few years ago?
Yes, sure. So the earlier trafficking bill the law that came in 2013, which defined trafficking for the first time in India in Section 370, it looked at trafficking as a penal provision where even if the crime was grievous or more heinous in certain cases, the punishment was same. There was nothing for rehabilitation and care of the victims or re-victimization of victims or different aggravated forms of trafficking. The new bill that is coming up in the Parliament, hopefully in the monsoon session, two things which I would like to talk about, which has been discussed since the beginning of the program, is one is the network that is being talked about, the trafficking works as an organized crime. So the new bill looks at this issue, this crime in a entity as a comprehensive law, where the prevention, the care, the rehabilitation aspects of the victim is taken care of together. And what Sharmila ji said, that silence is violence. So to that, I would say the bill says that there is a provision of mandatory reporting. So anybody who finds a child being trafficked or gets missing, then it is the responsibility of that person to report the matter to the police. And we look at the other provisions, then in this bill, the trafficking, the different aggravated forms of trafficking have been included, where the punishment is higher. The rehabilitation part of victims, and to prevent the re-victimization. So not just of the victims, but also the witnesses and the complainants are also taken care of. And the most important thing is that the traffickers, the proceeds they get from trafficking, the money that they earn from trafficking. So the bill provides for attachment and forfeiture of that property. In fact, from the place where the crime is being committed, that property is also can be attached and fortified. The other provision, the last which I would like to mention, is that the burden of proof in case of women, children, and physically and mentally disabled persons, in those cases, the burden of proof is on the trafficker, which is, against the principle of the criminal law. And the trafficker is presumed to have committed the crime, and then has to prove during the trial that he or she was innocent. So this is a victim-centric law.
Something we need very, very urgently, and I hope they'll take it up in the monsoon session of Parliament. There's been a lot of disruption, but this is an issue that all parties should, unite over. Dhananjay, if you could just share with us, over the years, have you felt there's more awareness, more sensitivity among various government organizations, various, government bodies on this issue?
See, BBA has been working on the issue of trafficking for last 35 years since when we have been screening, but very effectively since 2004. And we were involved, our cases which were in PIL filed in Supreme Court resulted in the first time trafficking being defined in 2011. 2013, BBA advocated for it to be coming into the IPC as a section 370 on trafficking. So we have been working, but yes, we have faced many challenges, difficulties, and the attitude of the government, because this law was never accepted as a criminal offense. They still take it as a social offense, and because of which the priority given to this was not so much. But yes, during the COVID time, we have seen that the government agency, the 9,000 children whom we rescued, more than 9,000 children whom we rescued, were rescued with the help of the government agencies across India. And they were very proactive in rescuing them while being in the transit or at the destination points. So there we have seen this attitude, at least in the COVID time, we found this change in the attitude of the government officials, that they proactively stopped the children from being trafficked. That was I think it was a very good sign from the government side, and we hope that continues throughout. And so the children are put, but on the other hand, the source district where the preventive action could have been taken, they have been silent and they have not taken much action to prevent the children from being trafficked from those states or those districts. So they need to take it up.
All right, Sharmila ji, often victims of sexual abuse and trafficking face injustice, they're sidelined, they face neglect as there are no stringent laws to protect them. As we've been talking in this program, Justice for Every Child is one campaign where the Kailash Satyarthi Children's Foundation and NDTV have joined hands to ensure protection, rehabilitation and justice to victims. What would you say in support of campaigns such as this one?
I would agree. Children need protective legislation. While our laws are good, well drafted and well intentioned, still thousands of children get trafficked. We need to enforce and implement those laws. I know I'm repeating myself. Also, we need a strong commitment from the government of the day. The government's capacity must match the viciousness of the trafficker. I congratulate both NDTV and Kailash Satyarthi ji for the work they are doing. Every step counts in this fight towards child trafficking. I hope this inspires many more organizations to move forward and lend their support to this very, very important cause. We must remember this crusade against trafficking has a strong bearing on the future of our country and our children. And each one of us must feel the responsibility and do the best we can. It is not about I versus them. It's about us. John F. Kennedy said, "Children are the message we send to the world we will not see." Let that message be compassionate, caring, and inclusive.
Thank you so much for those words, Sharmila ji. And thank you all for joining us on the program. Mohammed Chotu, all the best ahead. हमारी शुभकामनाएं आपके साथ हैं. Thank you for joining us on this program. And finally, to end this show, we leave you with a message from Nobel laureate Kailash Satyarthi, who's made this his life's mission, and he's asking all of us to come forward and do our bit to end this evil of child trafficking.
Thousands of India's children are being sold and bought at lesser prices than animals. Little children, 5, 6, 10 years old. You might have seen children begging on the traffic signals, serving tea in dhabas, or working in factories and homes. They are not simply children of poor families. They are trafficked. And their helpless parents don't know where they are, whether they are alive or dead. You can imagine their fear and pain. How can we allow this in any civilized society? Trafficking is the most inhuman crime that puts a price tag on human beings. I have looked into the empty eyes, felt the shattered souls, and held the wounded bodies of children who have been trafficked. But I am fortunate. I have also witnessed the tears of joy on the faces of mothers reunited with their children after years. Millions of children and their families are still waiting for hope. India needs a compassionate society and a strong law against human trafficking. A law that will prevent this crime, that will protect and rehabilitate victims and ensure punishment to the criminals. The freedom, childhood, education and future of our children is the moral and constitutional responsibility of the entire nation, because they are all our children. Let us come together and give justice for every child.